one example. Just one, since I've done it so much, since it's such a major
What
part.
about today?
Lady, shut up, man.
No, you
I'm
don't.
talking about now.
You don't get to speak to me ever again. Ever.
Had a debate, man. And
What about today?
You do that.
And
when
his
we'll
experience
talk,
today.
we'll talk. When she stop running her mouth. Damn it. That's
Bright studio lamps scorch the air, 3 cameras hum, and Earl DMX Simmons paces like a caged rottweiler. He's here, he thinks, to talk sobriety. Instead, Oprah's producers roll out his estranged son. One wrong look, and X is famous for wrong looks. Why would the world's wealthiest talk show monarch risk provoking hip-hop's most wounded wolf? Stick around. The answer exposes far more than one explosive reunion. OWN's Saturday ratings were flatlining in early 2013. A 90-minute season premiere needed fireworks, so producers dangled $25,000, a weekend detox, and a family healing contract. Buried in the boilerplate was a clause allowing additional participants as determined by network for narrative clarity. Translation? Surprise guests on cue. When the promos dropped, DMX unfiltered this Saturday. Twitter fluttered. Boardrooms prayed for a meltdown big enough to lead TMZ on Monday. Mid-interview, a second chair glides in. Xavier Simmons, wide shoulders, eyes full of hurt, takes his place. DMX's pupils shrink to pinpoints. No handshake, no prep call, just a scripted question. Dad, will you finally choose me over the bottle?
That's what I've...
Clean, completely clean.
What do you mean?
You.
That's what you
was
got.
shut down. I couldn't.
I shut down?
The way you've been.
Where I've been? You haven't seen? Like, what do you...
How we gonna have a nice, healthy relationship if you're toxic?
Toxic.
Yanla leans in, voice velvet and razors. Earl, are you high right now? The word high ricochets. Fight, flight, or film. He chooses fight. Pump your brakes. Producers grin behind the glass. That 5-second clip will loop on Instagram Reels for years. Yonkers winter of '83. 11-year-old Earl bunks in abandoned cars because group home mattresses feel like traps. Reddy Ron, an older MC he idolizes, hands him a blunt laced with crack. Betrayal disguised as mentorship. By 15, he's boosting dogs, and rumor says cars with T-top roofs because they're easier to peel. Each arrest teaches a lesson. Feelings get you caged. Bark first, ask questions never. That survival code never deactivates even when It's Dark and Hell is Hot moves 5 million copies. Oprah adores safe rap. Tuxedos, TED Talk lyrics, billionaire budgets. Jay-Z gets couch space and homemade freestyle banter. But Ludacris? She snips his mic and projects his raunchy verses like courtroom evidence. 50 Cent names his dog Oprah in revenge, accusing her of talking to older white women about us. Then comes Leaving Neverland, Jackson, and the Russell Simmons doc drama. Oprah signals moral outrage on live TV, yet critics note near silence when former party pal Harvey Weinstein faces courtroom perp walks. Selective indignation becomes the brand. Xavier reads a therapist-approved letter. DMX interrupts, "Man, you don't know a can of paint." Yanla declares spiritual trespass. Security edges closer. Viewers lean forward, heartbeats syncing with the steady zoom in. Then the growl, subwoofer deep, rattles the boom mics. "Don't play with my family, you're playing with fire." OWN has its viral moment. Editors already taste Emmy buzz. Friends swear X cleared 6 sober months before taping. TMZ confirms he had just finished a court-mandated rehab stint. Outtakes, later leaked by a disgruntled PA, show 20 calm minutes discussing Bible study and his newly adopted pit rescue plomo. None made the final cut. Instead, post-production loops every snarl twice, compressing a 9-hour shoot into a 90-minute cautionary tale. Therapists label it poverty porn in designer packaging. Even Yanla concedes on a book tour, DMX is the one soul I couldn't reach. Couldn't. 2019. Oprah hosts After Neverland, draws the fiercest backlash since Ellen's coming out episode. 2020. She backs out of the Russell Simmons documentary 48 hours before Sundance, citing story gaps, but disowns Simmons on CBS the same week. Rose McGowan torches her online for smiling up next to Harvey. Viewers notice a pattern, harsh spotlight on black men's sins, dimmer bulb for industry titans she once toasted at award galas. DMX becomes prime exhibit A, proof a broken rapper sells better than a reformed one. July 22nd, 2020. Instagram Live pings DMX vs. Snoop. The quarantine masses thirst for joy. 525,000 tune in concurrently, 1.4 million total by the drum roll, setting an Apple Music live stream record. X appears heavier, breath short, but the bark is back. He beams at Snoop Doggy Dogg, my idol, wipes sweat with a towel embroidered God first and drop steps through. Where the hood at? View-through rates hit 94%, rare for any live stream. For 2 hours, DMX is not trauma fodder. He's hip-hop's pastor, blessing an audience starved for authenticity. From September 2020 to January 2021, X records daylight-only sessions. He refuses to be in a vocal booth after sundown, says demons roam then. The album, Exodus, locks features like Jay-Z, Nas, Lil Wayne, and even Bono. On May 28, 2021, 7 weeks after X's passing, the record lands. 39 minutes of gravel prayer. Bath salts nabs a Grammy nod. Critics call the LP poignant and strangely unfinished. Fans blast Letter to My Son on repeat, hearing Xavier's voice layered under a hook about generational curses. No will, 15 children, 9 mothers, $1.1 million in tax liens, and album royalties still routed through Def Jam. January 2025. A New York surrogate judge denies ex-wife Tashara Simmons' bid for sole control of X's masters. Instead, a 3-person independent fiduciary team is appointed. Streaming spikes after the ruling, but heirs see pennies until debts clear. Lawyers hint that merchandising rights alone could top $8 million if the family ever agrees on a single licensing plan. The mess becomes a masterclass in why musicians need estate planning. DMX was never just a cautionary tale. He was a mirror. His rawness forced polite society to confront the parts of itself it buries under self-help jargon and soft-focus lighting. OWN wanted a spectacle. Instead, they filmed a man refusing to sanitize his scars. The Versus night proved the audience prefers unfiltered humanity over manufactured redemption arcs. The posthumous album reminds us stories don't end when the camera's cut. They echo in Grammy nods, court dockets, and millions of earbuds. And the estate battle shows what happens when those echoes aren't protected. So the next time a producer waves a healing contract at a headline-making talent, remember the tale of Earl Simmons. Read every clause, guard every master. Because in a world where outrage rents cheap and pain streams free, the real victory isn't surviving the ambush, it's owning the narrative after the credits roll.
Just one example, just one sentence. I've done it so much. This is such a major
What
part.
about today?
Lady, shut up, man. I'm talking about no.
You don't get to speak to me ever again. Ever.
Had a debate, man. And
What about today?
You do that.
And
when
his
we'll
experience
talk.
today.
We'll talk. When she stop running her mouth. Damn it. That's what I'm.
Clean, completely clean.
What do you mean?
You.
That's what
You
you
were
got.
shut down. I couldn't.
I shut down?
The way you've been.
Where I've been? You haven't seen. Like, what do you?
How are we gonna have a nice, healthy relationship if you're toxic?